Good morning friends. So, we will continue the second lecture on design of isolated footing. So far I will summarize what we have discussed so far. So, we have taken the problem of one column of a size 500 by 500 having the grade of 20 megapascal and the steel or the rebar of 415 megapascal. So, we have started with the design of the column and being a square column we have tried to find out the main reinforcement or the vertical bars of the columns, and finally, we have concluded with the 8 numbers of bars and we have provided those bars in two category 4 bars of 16 mm and 4 bars of 12 mm. At the same times we have understood what are the different steps to be carried out to do the design of lateral ties, how to fix the pitch and how to decide the diameter of the tie. Later on we have understood what are the different steps to be involved in a isolated footing design. So, basically I will repeat in 2 minutes. So, the criteria what we are going to adopt here, that this footing we are going to design as a beam and in this particular beam, or it is merely called as a widened beam. So, the criteria to govern the depth of footing will be based on the two different bases. One is by punching shear criteria and the second one is obviously the bending moment criteria. So, out of these two criteria we are supposed to consider the maximum value, and in this case we have the maximum value in case of the bending moment criteria. At the same times we have carried out one particular small task where the overall depth of the sections we have increased by 30% to consider the shear stresses. So, in last lecture I have told you that for this consideration or to consider this enhancement in the aspect ratio will help us to reduce the calculation time while cross checking the problem for the one way shear and two way shear. So, we will start with the that particular discussion. So, yesterday we have completed the design. Finally, we have come with the design where the footing pad is of size 2.75 by 2.75. It consists of 18 bars of 12 mm diameter in both the direction, both orthogonal direction, and then we will try to understand this particular footing pad we have designed and to appreciate the designs. So, the footing should undergo the two important checks. So, the one I will start with the check for one way shear. So, just I will draw the sketch. So, this is the plan. Same times we also require the sectional elevation . So, yesterday what we did here. So, I will just mark the dimension. So, this was 2750 millimeter. This was 2750 being square. This is 500. This is again 500. We have fixed the depth of footing here, which is overall depth 900 millimeter. Okay. So, this was the outcome of our yesterday's effort. Now, the first task that we are supposed to assume this side depth, and as per the earlier discussion, the criteria is it should be minimum 150 mm. So, in this case this is 900. So, we will consider this as more than 150. So, we will consider this as a 300 millimeter. So, now we will try to follow the check for one way shear, and as per yesterday discussion, the critical section for one way shear will be located at a distance of small d, that is the effective depth from face of column. So, in our case the effective depth was so we are supposed to locate a point here like this. So, this is the where the critical section will lie from the face of column. So, overall depth is 900 mm, and we are supposed to deduct the 78 mm. 78 mm consists of 60 mm clear cover, 60 mm clear cover, 1 bar diameter of 12 mm and half of bar diameter which is 6 mm. So, 60 plus 12 plus 6. So, it will become 78 mm, and that 78 mm we are supposed to deduct from the overall depth to get the effective depth. So, the critical section for one way shear will be lie at a distance of d. So, that is I will write here 900 minus 78, that will become 822 millimeter. At the same times, we are having the idea where this face is located from the end of footing. So, this is I think 1125. So, yesterday we have arrived with this 1125 value, or in short this is 2750, this is 500, 2750 minus 500 divided by 2. So, this is having the equal offset on both sides. Therefore, this value is 1125 millimeter. So, out of this 1125 millimeter, the location of the critical section is at a distance of 822 mm from the face of column. So, remaining distance I will mark at this point. So, it will come around 302 mm. So, what is the use of this? So, at this point now we are supposed to quantify the required depth and breadth, because we are going to apply the check for shear. So, here write the depth at critical section. So, this is very important step now, or I will just modify. So, I will write overall depth at a critical section. So, let us see here now. So, I will write the variation will be like this. So, 900 minus this 900 minus 300. So, this variation applies or remains for a distance of 1125, and it to be multiplied by 822. So, this will be the overall depth of section. 461.6 millimeter. Therefore, the effective depth will be obviously the 461.6 minus 78 millimeter. So, this comes to be 383.6 millimeter. So, this is the value that we should use for the calculation of the shear stress. At the same time, we will try to find out what will be the width of section at this critical section. So, this will be, so width we are supposed to consider at this particular location, which is the critical section. So, obviously, this is 500. So, this is 820 and one more 820 will be there. So, that width will become that the addition of this and one more 822 will become the effective width which will resist the shear or which is responsible to produce the shear force at that section. So, this will becomes 2 times 822 plus 500. So, this will become 2144 millimeter. Now, the other important part that we will try to find out the shear force at this critical section. So, the shear force at critical section. So, let us see here what will be the shear force. So, yesterday we have discussed that the shear force will be induced at the section and that is governed by the upward pressure. So, the pressure what we have computed so far. So, what will be the pressure? So, load on the structure divided by shape bearing capacity. So, that will become the pressure. So, that value is 1983.1. So, this is expressed in terms of Newton per meter square. So, to compensate 1 meter it should be multiplied by 2.75 and again we will try to consider the moment about this section, therefore, the shear force at this section, therefore, this will be multiplied by 0.303. So, this will be the shear force at the critical section 165.27.2.7 Newton. So, we are interested in VU which is the factor shear force. So, obviously, it is 1.5 times of this 165.272.7. So, this comes to be 247.909 Newton. So, obviously, our value of the tau V is the shear stress that acts on section will be the VU divided by BD. So, in our case this is the 247.909 divided by the B is 2144 multiplied by the D is 383.6. So, this will 0.30 Newton per mm square. So, this is expressed in Newton. So, this is millimeter and multiplied by 1 more millimeter. So, 0.30 Newton per millimeter square. So, this is the value of the tau C not tau C, tau V which is the shear stress on that section. Now, we are supposed to compare this with the tau C. What is the tau C? Tau C is the design shear strength of concrete. Design shear strength of concrete. And in IS 456 to compute this design shear strength, we have to use the table number 19. So, yesterday we have used the table number 20, here we will going to use the table number 19. So, if you refer the table number 19 in IS 456, so the value of the shear strength of the concrete is governed by two parameters. It is going to govern by the grade of concrete as well as the percentage of steel. So, on one axis the grade of steel what we have considered is M20 grade and the percentage of steel we are supposed to work out now. So, what the percentage of steel is there that we are supposed to work out. So, we have provided, so write down that I will write here, we have provided 18 bars of 12 mm, which gives area that is 18 multiplied by pi by 4 into 12 square. How much? 2034 millimeter square. Therefore, the percentage of steel will be this 2034 millimeter square divided by BD. The B is 2144 into 383.6 multiplied by 100. So, this is the percentage of steel. So, this comes to be 0.247%. So, this is value nearly equal to 0.25. So, in IS 456 in table number 19, the variation is of 0.25 means you will get the value at 0.25, after that you will get the value at 0.30 like that. So, here by considering considering M20 grade and percentage as 0.247, we will arrive at the value of tau c. So, that tau c is 0.35 MPa, 0.35 Newton per mm square, and which is greater than tau v. Hence okay, you can write okay, means extra reinforcement is not required. So, the simple answer, if you see the difference, so this value is 0.35, we have the value of tau v as 0.30. So, difference is only 0.05 Newton per mm square. So, if we have not compromised with that value of the D, then probably we are supposed to repeat this step. To avoid that repetition, initially we have make sure that the overall depth is enhanced by some percentage. So, that percentage varies from 25 to 35. So, this is about the one way shear check. Now, the last step in the problem, and then we will come out with the schematic sketch of reinforcement to end the problem or to end this design exercise. So, check for two way shear. Now, what is the difference between one way shear and two way shear? The difference between one way shear and two way shear, that two way shear is applicable in two directions. So, being a square kind of a column or a square kind of footing, it is now applicable around entire periphery or whole periphery of this column, right. So, it is going to match the requirement of the design, that is a shear strength of the concrete based on the flat slab. Generally, in the case of the flat slab, what the procedure we are following, what is the flat slab? You people are not aware of the flat slab. So, generally the flat slab is a slab where you will find the slab without beam. Okay. So, for very large span or for public kind of type of building, the people are using the concept of the flat slab where you will find the slab without beam. Okay. So, there are two categories of the flat slab, with the drop and without drop. So, at this particular point, just you are supposed to understand that the value of the tau c, the criteria of the tau c in the two way shear, we are going to adopt from the design of the flat slab. So, let us now come to this check for two way shear. So, I will write here the critical section. Now, the critical section will be located at distance how much? So, yesterday we have seen for this two way action, it is located at a distance of d by 2 from the face of column. So, d by 2 means d is the effective depth. So, in for one way shear, the d value is 822. So, I will write here the d by 2 will be how much, 822 divided by 2. So, it will become 411 millimeter. So, I will remove this section line and I will try to draw a new section line which is which will refer the action of a two-way shear. So, this value is 411. So, this is the kind of perception one can have. So, in this two-way shear we are going to get the offset of 411 mm around the periphery of the column. So, that we are supposed to consider. The remaining distance is how much? So, this 1125 minus 411. So, the remaining distance will refer here 714. So, we will start the procedure again same we had just followed for one way shear to get the value of B and D. So, I will write the critical depth or the depth at critical section, the depth of depth at the critical section. So, again we will stick with this variation. So, this is 900 minus the 900 minus 300 divided by 1125 and this is multiplied by now 411 from the face of column. This comes to be 680.8 mm. So, I will write here the effective depth. I will just call. So, depth at a critical section I will refer as the d dash. So, effective depth will become small d dash. So, 680 minus 8 minus 78. So, this will become 602.8 millimeter. Now, the width at critical section, So, the width will be this 500 which is a constant, which is the dimension of this column, and this 400 plus 400. So, one side, so this will become the 4 times of 411 times 2 plus 500. So, this will be the width of critical section. So, entire perimeter you are supposed to consider. So, what will be the value?
5288 mm.
So, this will become 5288 millimeter. Same time, in same way we will estimate the shear force at this critical section. So, shear force at critical section. So, what is the pressure? The upward pressure is 198347.11 multiplied by now. So, this is one side 2.75 multiplied by 2.75 and it is going to direct by one side of this dotted line. So, one side will become the 411 plus 500 plus 411. So, it will come as 2.75 square minus how much? 1.32 square, or indirectly what this critical B we are going to get. So, it is divided by 4. So, that will be the value. So, if you work out this, then the shear force at critical section will be how much? 115 double 352 Newton. So, again the value of Vu, which is the factor shear force, one 173.0028 Newton. So, again the tau V will be Vu divided by B dash D dash. So, this is 173.0028 divided by B dash. In our case the B dash was 5288 into D dash 602.8. So, this is 0.54 megapascal or Newton per mm square, and as I said you earlier, the tau C, which is the design shear strength of the concrete, will be governed by formula. So, Ks into 0.25 into under root of FCK. So, this Ks is generally referred as aspect ratio constant. So, the formula to estimate this Ks will be beta C plus 0.5, and the maximum permissible value of the KSE is 1 only. So, I will write here this value is restricted up to 1, means what? So, we are supposed to implement this step. If it is more than 1, then we will consider that 1. If it is less than 1, then the actual value we should consider. So, beta C, what is the beta C here? The beta C is the aspect ratio. So, here the beta C will be the aspect ratio, means it is the length of footing in a shorter direction, length in shorter direction divided by the length in longer direction, and in our case being square the value will be 1. So, in our case obviously this value of the Ks will be 1.5, comes to be 1.5. Therefore, here we will consider the value of the Ks as a 1. So, this is 1 multiplied by 0.25 multiplied by the grade of concrete, which is 20. So, this is 1.12 megapascal. This is greater than the tau V, hence safe. In short, these are the two criteria, and after executing these two checks, we can say that our footing is completed the all aspect in the design procedure. So, finally, we should come with the reinforcement sketch. So, I will remove this now. So, every time I am editing the same diagram, but you are supposed to draw a new one. So, here yesterday we have considered this design of the column. So, in column we are having 1, 2, 3, 4, the 4 bars of 16 mm, and again the 4 bars of 12 mm we have placed like this. So, we have provided the stirrup of 6 mm, something like this, and yesterday I told you, if we are going to adopt the strategy for ductile detailing, then one more stirrup we may consider. Actually, this sketch we are supposed to draw separately. So, in this particular plan, so just so this is what, this is the plan of footing. And what is this? This will be the sectional elevation. So, in the sectional elevations, we are supposed to show the section. So, if you take down these bars like this, so this will be the reinforcement what we are supposed to provide. And in orthogonal direction, I will put the steel. And in plan, you can show these lines like this. So, this is sufficient. So, I will write here what is this. So, this will be the 18 bars of 12 mm. Specifically, I will write in both direction. And here you are supposed to show the stirrups. So, this stirrups yesterday we have designed. Actually, if we are going to implement the ductile detailing as per 13920, then the spacing of these stirrups we are supposed to minimize at the junction. So, here I will write the phi or 5-6 mm at 250 mm center to center. So, this is the rough sketch of footing. The sectional elevations along with plan I have tried to draw here. Yesterday we have seen in detail how to draw the detailing of the column with respect to the lateral ties and main reinforcement. So, here also you can name this. So, this is the 4 bars of 16 mm at the corner, and these are 4 bars of 12 mm which placed at the center. So, this complete the footing design. So, I am going to upload the written design procedure of this problem to you. So, please refer that, and if you are having some queries, then please let me know. I am ready to answer those queries to you. Thank you very much.